One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. 54. Welcome to the Catalyst Podcast, raw, real, and unedited. My name is Jason, and you can find Catalyst at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear this podcast created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon. The Catalyst has the power to create change, and we hope this is what this podcast will do. If you'd like to be a part of this podcast as a guest or a contributor, or just tell me how much you hate it or how much you love it, you can email us at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. That's catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. Get out the door. It's time for episode 54 of the Catalyst Podcast. Folks, you know the routine. It's a one take, farts, beeps, burps, snorts, the whole thing. And hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you can get something out of it. And hopefully you'll share it along with your friends. Episode 54 is going to talk about a victim or a leader. You can be a victim or you could be a leader, but you can't be both. You can't be both. So let me take a drink and let's get started. Okay? Now, I believe that this is the cornerstone of personal growth and success. It's the choice between being a victim or a leader. Now, you can choose to be one or the other, but you can't be both. All right? We're going to explore these terms, what they really mean in the context of our everyday lives, and understand how this choice can be a game changer. So, let's start with the question. Have you ever felt like life was happening to you rather than you making it happen? If you do, you feel like you're constantly at the mercy of circumstances, emotions, or other people. You're not alone. My hand is right up there. Many of us have been there at some point, right? Now, let's define what this means to be a victim or a leader. Let's clarify victim, all right? A victim is someone who believes in external forces control their lives. They often focus on problems, blaming others. They feel helpless. They feel like they're in a boat with no oar or oars. It's just getting tossed around, paddle around, no direction whatsoever. On the other hand, a leader is someone who takes responsibility for their lives. They focus on solutions, inspire others, and embrace challenges and opportunities for growth. Now, in this case, it's like being a captain, charting your course, navigating through any storm. All right? So, let's talk about the mentality of victimhood. All right? Let's do that. Let's do a deep dive in that, okay? Now, it's a powerful force that can hold us back from achieving our full potential. It's easy to fall into this trap, especially when faced with the challenges of life and some setbacks. But it's important to recognize the signs. And here's a few of them. Blaming others. This is a classic victim behavior. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions, victims blame external factors for their problems. Focusing on the problems. Victims tend to dwell on their problems rather than look for solutions. It's like staring into a dark cloud instead of searching for sunlight. Feeling helpless. Victims feel like they have no control over their lives, like they believe that they're at the mercy of circumstances. Another one, which is a big one, and if you've noticed in the past 53 plus episodes of the Catalyst podcast, one thing we always talk about is self-talk. Victims' negative self-talk. They engage in constant self-criticism and negative thinking. They focus on their weaknesses instead of on their strengths. Now, I know this might hit a little close to home for some of you, but it's okay to admit that you've exhibited some of these behaviors in the past. The important thing is to recognize it and make the conscious decision to change. Let me repeat that. The important thing is to recognize it and make a conscious decision to change. Now, let's shift our focus over to the power of leadership. Now, being a leader isn't about having a title or position. It's about taking charge of your life and inspiring others. And here are some key pieces to that. Leaders take responsibility. Leaders understand they're responsible for their own lives and they don't blame others for their circumstances. They focus on solutions instead of dwelling on the problems. Leaders focus on finding solutions. They see challenges as opportunities for growth. Embracing challenges. Leaders don't shy away from challenge. They welcome them as opportunities to learn and grow. And finally, their self-talk is positive. Leaders believe in themselves and their abilities. They focus on their strengths and use positive affirmations to build confidence. Becoming a leader is a journey, not a destination. It takes time and effort to develop the mindset and habits of a leader, but the rewards are immeasurable. So let's move on to the impact of victimhood. What does this do? Let's talk about the impact of this mentality on our lives. When we adopt a victim mindset, it affects every area of our lives. Our relationships suffer, our opportunities are limited, and our overall happiness is diminished. Imagine a person who's constantly blaming their partner for their relationship's problems. They never take any responsibility for their own actions, and they always play the victim. It's a toxic cycle that can lead to resentment and breakups. Or we can consider someone who's always complaining about their job. They blame their boss, their coworkers, and the company for their unhappiness. They never take the initiative to improve their situation and end up feeling stuck and unfulfilled. These are just a few examples of how victim mentality can negatively impact your lives. It's important to recognize the destructive power of victimhood and make a conscious effort to break free from it. Now, on the other hand, the benefits of leadership are numerous. When we embrace the leadership mindset, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities, such as improved relationships. Leaders are better communicators and collaborators. They build strong, supportive relationships based on trust and respect. Increased opportunities. Leaders are seen as problem solvers and innovators. They attract opportunities and create their own success. Greater happiness. Leaders are far more resilient and optimistic. They focus on what they can control and find joy in their journey. Finally, personal growth. Leaders are constantly learning and growing. They embrace challenges as opportunities for self-improvement. By choosing to be a leader, we empower ourselves to create a life we desire. We become the architects of our own destiny. So ultimately, the choice is yours. The choice between being a victim or a leader is yours and yours alone. No one can make this decision for you. It's a constant choice that you make every single day. Now, I know it's not always easy to break free from the victim mentality. It takes courage. It takes determination. But folks, let me tell you, it's worth it. By choosing to be a leader, you're investing in yourself and your future. So remember, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall down. The important thing is we get back up and keep moving forward, one step at a time. Let me talk to you about a friend of mine named Alex. Alex used to be a classic victim. He would blame his failures on bad luck, his parents, the economy. He felt helpless and hopeless. But one day, Alex decided enough was enough. He started taking responsibilities for his life. He set goals. He created a plan and took action. He faced his fears and stepped outside of his comfort zone. It wasn't easy, but Alex persevered. He overcame the obstacles and achieved his dreams. And he became a leader in his own life. Alex's story is a powerful reminder that anyone can overcome adversity and become a leader. It takes courage, it takes determination, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. So, where do we stand? We've explored the concept of a victim and leader, the impact of each mindset, and the benefits of choosing leadership. We've also heard relatable stories about someone who transformed their lives by embracing leadership. Remember, being a leader isn't about being perfect. It's about taking responsibility, focusing on solutions, and inspiring others. It's about choosing growth over comfort, courage over fear. So let me leave you with a takeaway. All right. I want to challenge you to take one small step towards becoming a leader today. It could be something as simple as identifying one thing that you can control in your life and taking action on it. Or it could be something bigger like setting a goal and creating a plan to achieve it. Remember, small steps lead to big changes. Start where you are with what you have. And most importantly, believe in yourself. You have the power to be a leader. You also have a power to go be great. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this podcast has inspired you to choose leadership. Until next time, we want to keep growing, we want to keep leading, and we want to keep shining. All right? With that being said, thank you so much for listening to the Catalyst Podcast, raw, real, and unedited. My name's Jason, and you can hear the Catalyst Podcast at Facebook, or you can find Catalyst at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear this podcast we've created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon. A Catalyst has the power to create change. We hope this is what this podcast will do. If you'd like to be part of this podcast as a guest or a contributor, you can email us at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. That's catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening to episode 54 of the Catalyst Podcast. We will see you on episode 55. Man, do we appreciate you. We really, really do. Keep listening. Keep tuning in. Let us know, hey, listen, why don't you actually take action? Go ahead and try out the takeaway. Send us a message back. Let us know what you think. Did it work for you? Did it not? I hope you do. And I hope you continue to love yourself, develop, and grow. Thank you so much for listening. Go be great.